Hi, this is Shelley Kiefer, and today I'm speaking with Carol Fisher, Program Manager and Lead Hydrographer for TCarta Caribe. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Shelley. It's great being here.
Good to see you. To start, could you just tell us a little bit about your background and how you joined TCarta?
Okay, so I have a love for the great outdoors and geography. I have a background in land surveying and GIS, and I am a trained hydrographer. I have worked with the Jamaican government for over 15 years as a hydrographer and was exposed to SDB at a MAC conference, go figure, and really was intrigued with the technology and that it could survey such a vast area in such a short time. And so I contacted Kyle, who did the presentation, and really discussed about SDB in the Caribbean, and we formed TCarta Caribe, and that's how I got started.
That's great. And since you were a newcomer to SDB, can you talk a little bit about the process of getting up to speed with TCarta's SDB software?
What I love about the software is that it is very intuitive. The workflow is sequential in that the output of one step becomes the input for the other step. And so it lends itself to flowing very easily.
And how about challenges? What kinds of challenges did you encounter in learning the software?
I think one of the challenge that I have, and I would say it is a work in progress, is really analyzing the errors. One of the things about the software is that it produces a regression graph, and it showcases where your errors are, those outlying depths that have some amount of error in it. And so it's analyzing that data, and from that data being able to basically eliminate those outlying depths and to produce the best possible SDB surface from that.
Got it. And so it does sound like a whole different process than traditional hydrography. Can you sort of talk about how traditional surveying compares to working with SDB?
It is different as night and day in terms of the actual execution of the survey. For hydrographic survey, you're in the element, you're on the sea, you're experiencing all that happens there, the risk, the weather, all of that. With SDB, you're at your desk. It's totally different in that aspect. And so the thing about the differences is that SDB, because of the uniqueness of it in seeing a vast area, it eliminates a lot of time that the traditional method of hydrography doesn't lend itself to. And because it cuts down on the time, it cuts down on the cost as well. So those are the major differences really between the two technology, the two techniques, I should say.
And in terms of recent projects, have there been recent projects where you've really seen those kinds of results with SDB?
As recent as during the pandemic, I did a SDB of Bowden Harbor in St. Thomas. And I did that during the time of the pandemic when there was a lot of restriction in terms of movement. You were encouraged to work from home. There not a lot of people going out. And so I was able to do that at my desk, really. For the traditional method, I don't know of any hydrographic survey that was going on at that time, at least in Jamaica, during the early stages of the pandemic. So I was able to do this during the pandemic. And so the time that I was able to do that was within a day or two, while for a traditional method doing single beam, this would have taken probably a week in terms of collecting the data. The cost would have been substantially more. For that, I think for that type of survey, it would have been about 16,000 US. For SDB would be a fraction of that cost. So I definitely see coming into play during this time.
And from what you're saying, it sounds as though SDB is not something that replaces traditional hydrography.
No, it doesn't, and it never will. SDB is a supplement, I would say, to the traditional method of hydrography. It will provide the hydrographer with that current up-to-date information that is needed to do more efficient planning of its traditional survey. It will also assist him as well to be able to augment the SDB data with the traditional method of hydrography, because for the traditional method of hydrography, Shelley, there are some areas that you're just not able to go because of the risk involved. And so you'll always have those gaps. And so SDB will provide the data for those gaps as well. So it is a great tool to supplement the traditional method. It will not replace it.
And in terms of bridging data gaps, how do you see SDB fitting in with larger global efforts like Seabed 2030?
It is a great tool that would assist the process for Seabed 2030 to be accomplished. It's a very challenging task to survey the sea and the vastness of it. And here you have this technology that will be able to do just that, to be able to survey a vast area in a short time. And even though we're talking about the up to the 30-meter contour, if we're able to do that and get up to the 30-meter contour out of the way, then we can spend more time and more energy and more resources into the deeper areas. So SDB is definitely a force multiplier in getting the job done for Seabed 2030.
That's great. And what would the path forward look like for spreading the use of SDB more broadly across the MOC region?
Personally, it is my dream, my desire for more and more countries to be doing their own hydrography and to be using as many as the technology that is out there to help them to do that. And I see SDB being one of them. And so it is really to identify those personnel within your organization that can be trained up to be able to use SDB so that they can be able to know how to apply it and how to use it based on the different environmental issues that they have in their country.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today, Carol.
It was my pleasure.